In this video, we're going to talk about React Native Expo push notification data objects using nativenotify.com. This is a video a lot of people have requested. I'm going to go ahead and make a video on it, show you how you can use data objects to redirect the user to a different screen. So whenever they tap on your push notification, instead of just going to the home screen, you can send them to any screen inside of your app. I'll show you exactly how to do that. Before I get started, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon. We come out with videos all the time on Expo development, React Native, and Flutter development, things like that. If you haven't already, your first step is to go to nativenotify.com. Click this sign up free button. It's free to sign up. There's no credit card required. That should take you to a page like this. You want to click this create an app button and click React Native Expo if you're using React Native. We'll just go ahead and go through these instructions real fast. It doesn't take a long time. Want to copy this, come into your React Native Expo Managed Workflow app. I'm in Managed Workflow. You don't have to export out of Managed Workflow. So I'll just go ahead and paste that in my terminal to install Native Notify. All right, and it says step 2 is to import this. So I'll import that up there. Step 3 is to make sure you're using a hook function. This is super important. If you don't know what a hook function is, you can click this link here. I won't go over that, but you can watch this video up here. It goes a little bit more detail about it, about the setup process. All right, step 4 is to copy this. And you'll notice your app ID and your app token is already in there for you, so you don't need to change that. You can just come here to your app.js hook function, just paste it at the top there. You're actually done. You've got push notifications set up in your Expo app. So I'm just going to go ahead and Expo start to open my app. Okay, and that should pull up this. And if you're used to Expo, you ought to know about Expo Go. This is a way to see what your app looks like on a phone, an actual phone, instead of like a simulator or emulator. If you don't have Expo Go yet, you can click this link right here. You can download it either for an Apple phone or an Android phone. I've already got it on mine. It looks something like this when you open it up. Looks like this. And you'll want to come here. If you've got an Android phone, you'll want to scan this. You can click this button up here to scan it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and scan this code to open up my app. If you happen to get some errors when you're opening up your app, this is kind of an older app that I made, and it's looking like some things might be outdated. A quick thing you can do to fix this potentially is RMRF. Now make sure this deletes things, so make sure you do the right one, but RMRF your node modules. So delete your node modules and also delete your package dash lock. A lot of times this will fix the problem. Do that. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And you notice they disappeared. Okay, and whatever package you're using, whether it's npm or yarn, just say npm install to reinstall everything, and that should reinstall everything up to date. Before I go on though, I want to come back to my instructions. You'll notice the second part here says Expo install. The reason we do this is to make sure it installs the right version of Expo device and Expo notifications. So I'm going to actually redo that. Make sure I have the right compatible version installed. All right, so I'm going to try to open up my app again, say Expo start again. Hopefully everything is up to date now. All right, so I'm going to try to scan this again. Okay, I'm getting this type error. Undefined is not an object. If you happen to see errors like this, like undefined is not an object, evaluating whatever, there is a chance that you have an older version of Expo and it's breaking your current app. I'm pretty sure that's what's happening with mine, because this is an older app that I built with Expo. So what I'm going to do is I'm just typing in Expo update. If you can't figure out how to fix your app, you're not sure what's happening, maybe you have an older version of Expo that's not compatible with these newer packages. For example, Native Notify, the current package of Native Notify is up to date. So it's with the most up to date version of it works with the most up to date version of Expo. It might not work for the older versions of Expo. So what I'm doing is I'm upgrading from version 42 to 44. And you'll notice when it's upgrading, it does what we just did a second ago. It's removing package-lock.json and node modules, and it's reinstalling node modules, rebuilding the package-lock. I'm pretty sure this is why it wasn't working. All right, so it's saying these were all updated. The following packages were not updated. And it gives you a blog to let you know about any breaking changes. So if you upgrade Expo and maybe as you're using it, some things just aren't working totally right, you can go to this blog to see what were the breaking changes, what are the things I need to update to have the most up-to-date app so that I make sure everything's working. All right, so let's just try this again. I'm going to say Expo start to start the server again. All right, and I'm going to try to open the app again. Hopefully by upgrading my version of Expo, that fixed all the errors. All right, and it did. That fixed it for me. So I'll let you kind of see what I can see on my phone. This is a contact app. You can create a contact. You can edit the contact. You can delete the contact. I made a video where I built this app. It'll pop up right there. It's a React Native tutorial. I want to redo that video with using the most up-to-date technology. But anyway, that's what I built in that video. And if you'll notice, okay, yes. So when I come over here, it says you can now send a push notification. You successfully registered Native Notify. So I'm going to come back to my instructions here and test out to make sure, is this working? Test. All right, it says it was successfully sent. Let's see. And there it is. It says, is this working? Test. All right. So, but that's not what this video is about. What we're going to talk about in this video is, you'll notice right here. Well, first off, you'll notice after you successfully send a push notification, it'll take you to this send page right here. And your send page is where you can continue sending more push notifications. You'll also notice here in advanced settings, there's something called data objects. If you click this here, it shows how it works. I'll just go down here to the live example. Basically, the way you can use it is there's another function inside of our Native Notify package. It's called push data object, where you can get push data object. What this does is it returns a value whenever someone taps on the push notification. And I'll just go ahead and show you. This is a data test message. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and send myself a push data object. And it's very important that it's formatted this way. So you need to have an object, write an object like that. Both the property and the value need to be surrounded by double quotation marks. So I'm going to just say test data for object, and then go ahead and put a semicolon there. And then for the value, you also need to put quotation marks. Let me go ahead and increase the size of this so you can kind of see what's going on. Okay, so again, you need to write out an object, make sure to put quotation marks around the property and say, this is test value. Put quotation marks on this side as well. Let me make sure over here. Okay, let me see if I can make things bigger here too. Okay, so this is my app. You'll notice it's got a number of different screens. It's got a home screen, contact details screen, things like that. I'll go over again in just a second how to switch between screens based on a tap. But let's go ahead and follow these data object instructions before I send this notification. So it says to get data objects working, you should do this first. Copy this, come to your terminal. I'll go ahead and open a separate terminal. I'll paste that there. I'll reopen my app to make all that go away. All right, my app's open again. It says make sure to import this get push data object function. I already have native notify imported, so I'm just going to copy that one part right there. I'm going to come here where it says register native notify push token. I'm going to put a comma there and import it right there. You can do it that way, or you can also just copy this whole line here and come down here, do that if you want to. The other thing is it says make sure you have use state and use effect imported as well. I do not, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure to import those as well. All right, again, it says this needs to be a hook function or this won't work. So this is really important. It needs to be a hook function. If you're not sure what a hook function is, you can click this link here to learn more about a hook function. Super simple. Step 4 is to copy this, paste it anywhere in your app function. So I'm going to come back to my app function here. I'll just go ahead and put it here underneath the register function. Just paste that right there. And then it says inside of your app function, create a use effect function if you haven't already. I have not. And if you're new to hooks, this is basically component did mount. That's what this is. But for hooks, here's a link that describes how it works if you're not sure how it works. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this. Come right under the push data object. I'm going to paste that right there. So now what should happen whenever I send a push notification and I tap on it, you should see a value pop up down here in my terminal. So let's go ahead and test it out now that this is all set up right. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and send a push notification to myself. It says it was sent. Before I click on it, I'm going to come back here. I'm about to click on the notification. You should see the value pop up. All right, there it is. There's that object right there. It says, you'll notice the quotation marks are still there. We'll do this again and just say we want to only get the value. So I'll put a comma there. You can do your put your push data object there and just say dot test data obj. And let's just do that again. Here, I'm going to copy this so that I can just use that. All right, I'm going to put it this way. Okay, so there's another test data object, test. Come down here. Well, I'll go ahead and just close this up now that we know how to do it. Send a push notification. All right, it was sent again. And so now this time you should see that. So let's see. And you did. Okay. Yep. There it is. So yeah, so that's how it works. And now that you know how to send a push data object, we're going to use this to change between screens. So what I want to happen is when someone pushes on or taps on the notification, I don't want them to go to the home screen. I want them to go to the create contact screen. So we'll do it that way. One really cool thing to remember when using push data objects is you don't actually have to put it in the app screen. You only have to put this register in push token function in the app.js file. But once you have already registered your device, you no longer have to put this in the app screen. You actually can use this get push data object anywhere in your app. So I'm actually going to undo all of this, take out that push data object, because what I want to do is I want to have that function in my home screen. So what I want to happen is I want to say if there is a screen name that is different than home, navigate to that page. If you haven't ever set up React navigation before, I made a React Native tutorial video. You can, it should come up on the screen. It's probably in the first 30 minutes. It walks you through how to set up React navigation. So I won't go through that all over again, but I've already got app navigation built. And so what I want to do is I'm going to come back to this instruction guide here in data object. I've already gone through these steps. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this whole get push data object. Instead of putting it in my app.js file, I'm going to put this here in my home screen. I'm going to put that right there. And so what I want again to happen is I want to track the value of the push data object in my home screen. And what I want to say is if the screen name is different than home, go to whatever screen it is. So here's sort of an example. You'll notice navigation navigate. This is connected to my contacts. So whenever I click handle open, it's connected to like that contact there. If I click it, it opens up the details of that contact. That's what's happening here. It's saying navigation navigate to contact details screen. So this is the contact details screen. What I want to happen is if I want to say if the screen name value is create contact, that's another screen I created. If it's create contact, I want it to go to that screen. So let's go ahead and get started. So I went ahead and imported that here. The next step is to make sure you're using a hook function. This instructions say in the app function, I really should update that. It doesn't have to be the app function. I just used the app function for this example down here, just because it's easy to visualize, but it doesn't actually have to be in the app function. It can be in any function. So you can, again, import that whichever function you want, copy this, go to, again, whichever function. It does have to be a hook function, but it can be any hook function. All right, I'm going to put that there. All right, and it's saying that now you can use the value of this push data object in your use effect function. Let me see here if so the reason I'm a bit hesitant is, so the way I built this app was I'm saying use effect do not trigger unless the contacts change. So I'm not sure that this will work unless the contact information is changed. I know it would work if I took this out, then it would work because it just automatically updates a lot. But let's see if it'll work even if it's in. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put the console log. I'm going to make sure I'm actually getting the value of the push data object. All right, so let's just test that out. See if I even get the value even with this here. So here we okay. Okay. Well, I'll just write it again. Okay, test screen name. What did I call? What is it called again? Okay. Create contact. Okay. And it is capitalized. Okay. Create contact. All right. Let's test this out to see if I even get the value. So it just popped up. I'm going to click it. All right. It did not get the value. So that's, I think, I'm just for this example, I'm going to go ahead and delete this contacts thing. And you'll have to do kind of the same thing wherever you want to see the value of push data objects in a use effect. You're going to have to make sure the use effect is like this, or it won't work. Because when I had it set to this, what I'm saying is only trigger the use effect when there's a contacts change, whenever the contacts change. But I want to be able to trigger this use effect at any time. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And I'm going to test this out one more time, make sure I actually get the push data object. I'm going to try sending it one more time. Test. All right, let's see if once I click on it, if the value will pop up. All right, it did not pop up. I'm going to try restarting my app. I think that might be the problem. So sometimes you just have to restart your app. So I'm going to say Expo start. Sometimes when a lot of changes have happened, you have to forcefully shut down and restart your app. So that's what I'm going to do. All right. Okay, it's actually picking it up now. So there's the push data object. Let me go ahead and go back. Let me go back and paste that in there. So I'm going to see if this will appear this time. Screen name, create contact. All right, I'm going to click my notification. I'm going to tap on it. Okay, I just tapped on it. All right, it just showed up. Okay, so what we just created a second ago should actually work. So before I go on, I'm going to put this underneath this. I forgot why I created that, but okay. So what I'm going to say now is if push data object dot screen name is equal to create contact. So what we're saying is if it's equal to that, then navigation dot navigate to that screen. Oops. Okay, create contact screen. Okay. So let's go ahead and see. Okay. So you'll see again, go away, Nate. Okay, so you'll see I'm on the home page right now. What I'm going to try to do is test. Oops. I'm going to put the screen name here and say create contact. All right, so you'll see again, I'm on the home page. What I want to happen is when I send this and I click the push notification, hopefully it'll take me there to that screen. Okay. All right, so let's test this out. Let's see, here's my push notification. When I click it, let me see if I can make my screen bigger. Okay. All right, this is the official test. I want you to see if this is gonna work. Okay, So I'm going to click this and hopefully it takes me to the screen that I want. And it did. There you go. I can create a contact now. So let's make it more official. So I'm going to make this. So again, we're back on the screen here. I'm going to go ahead and put the app in the background. And what I'm going to say here is it's time to create another contact. Tap this notification to create a contact now. All right, let's see if this works again. All right, and again, I want to say create contact is the name of that screen. I'm going to copy this in case I want to do this again. All right, so well, let me just show you again. So it's at the home screen currently. I'm going to go just to put it in the background. Okay, I'm going to click this. All right, I sent it. The push notification just popped up right there. Okay, so let's just try it out. Let's click that notification, see where it takes us. All right, it took us to the create a contact screen. Pretty cool. All right. So again, just to do a short review of how push data objects work, that's really one of the main purposes of a push data object is you don't always want to send your user to the home screen. Maybe you want to send them to a very specific screen. Well, the easiest way that I think to do that is make sure you're using app navigation. You probably are if you're using React Native, Expo. In your app.js file, you definitely need to register your push token here. But from that point on, your push token is registered. So you can use this get push data object function anywhere in your app. The easiest way for me is to just put it in the home screen and put it in the use effect function and just do what we just did here. Paste your function there. The value will pop up there and then just say push data object dot screen name. If it equals whatever the name of the screen is you want it to go to, navigate to that screen. So it's pretty simple. Again, there's instructions here whenever you go to send. Here it shows you, it walks you through that again. Again, in this setup, it's doing it in the app function, but you don't have to do it in the app function. You can do it anywhere you want. And that's how you do it. So yeah, that's push data objects. If you have any questions about that, I know that was a bit more complicated. Post your questions in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. And let me know, did it work for you? Let me know in the comments below if this worked for you. And if you came across any problems, let me know and we can try to work through them together as well. If you like this video, make sure to like this video, subscribe, hit the bell icon. We come out with videos all the time. Thank you for watching this video and I'll see you next time.